right. Welcome, everybody, to our second of the 2024-2025 wrestling season, the Owatonna Wrestling Weekly Podcast. I'm here with Coach Gabe Hovden, middle school assistant, but the OWA's Min USA czar, king, emperor.
That's going a little far. Director.
Okay.
Let's go with director.
Yep. Okay, nice. And I'm Owatonna Wrestling head coach Derek Johnson, going into my fourth season here. And we had a chance to kick off this week. But first, we're going to thank our podcast sponsor, Summer Media Solutions. Mr. Summer, who helps us with all things media for the sake of the OWA, also delivers an incredible experience for his clients when it comes to, I've seen his drone work and videography for golf courses, for open houses and homes, for realtors, things like that. He is not spying on you from across the street, people who are
worried
just
about
had
that
talk off camera. Like, come on, let's put two and two together. But he's incredible. He's really great to the wrestling program, being an Owatonna Wrestling alum. And on top of it, he's really good at what he does. So that's Summer Media Solutions, Scott Summer, located right here in Owatonna. Well, we had, was it also your first week for middle school? It was, wasn't it?
Our first week, yes.
Yeah,
yes, our first
for competition.
week for competition, yep.
Yep. For the high school, we didn't start until, technically ninth grade team went up to Eastview every single year that Friday of the downtown holiday lights parade. Our ninth grade team goes up to Eastview, gets some good reps in. We looked really, really good as a team. Some of the higher performers, we didn't send a lot this year just because how it's structured. Where this year's kind of an in-between. Rules-wise, you really have to be careful that anybody on ninth grade won't be eligible for varsity later on in the season.
Yeah.
It's kind of a 1 year. There was some ambiguity with the rules, and then going forward from here on out, then it'll operate more like JV. So it'll be a part of the Minnesota State High School League, and we can interchange it and kind of use it the way we really like to use it, which is a good stepping stone for freshmen, and then also our 7th and 8th graders that may be a little bit more advanced and looking for better matchups and things like that.
You can use a little more competition.
Yeah, and shake up the teams that you see as well, because middle school, we're in a conference, and it's a really tough wrestling conference, don't get me wrong, but you tend to get some repeats, and you see those same kids over and over again, so it's a good opportunity there. I know Will Frantessel looked extremely tough. Noah Calhoun looked extremely tough. Drake Johnson, like Jaden Lake, I should just name kind of everyone that wrestled there because, Finn Buckley, Mason Sorensen, Colton Lindquist, like all these guys looked extremely sharp. Patrick Nichols has been surprising everybody.
Oh, there. Yep. He's on my list right here to talk about when we bring up the middle school. So
Travis Neitzel, talk about a kid who absolutely transformed himself physically, and we saw it pay off in football and now in wrestling. We had a really great showing from our ninth grade team. As always, we usually have a really strong ninth grade team that makes it to team state and everything like that. But so we started that on Friday at Eastview, and then Saturday we go right into the fire. So this is our second year being up at this Woodbury dual tournament. And at that tournament, you have number 2 ranked Simley in AA. You have Anoka, that in large school is ranked, I think, 7th, which is just ahead of us, 7th or 8th. And then Stillwater, second ranked in large school. And then some teams that aren't slouches in Farmington, Woodbury, and Two Rivers and Egan, who all have like a couple of studs here and there, may not have a complete team. That's what we ended up seeing is we started off the day against Farmington, who, has returning state champ Davis Perro, nationally ranked, I believe, too. He's in the middleweights, and then Tyler, please don't ask me to say his last name, Chenavert, I don't know, senior at 121. But other than that, they're kind of in a rebuild. They have a lot of youth in their program. And boy, did it show, because we started off our day. I got JV result. I mean, we destroyed on JV too, which I'll go over. But we beat them 50-16, and wasn't really close at any point in time. And of that, we got Miles Ozzie, we've been waiting for him for a long time to just get bigger and everything.
Yeah.
He's a freshman. He got his first ever start. He won his match 9-0. We had Wilson, drew that senior. So sophomore Jacob Wilson, who's a little undersized for 121, drew that senior at 121. Looked really tough though. Battled really hard. Gabe Robb made his varsity debut at 127. He got a tech fall over a senior.
Oh.
And just actually like did what we ended up seeing the rest of the day from the whole team, which was just nasty bars. We were so good with the bar. Former Owatonna wrestling coach Jeff Becker was reffing that day.
Okay.
And he was smiling and he's like, "Man, you got those bars going like the 90s." And I was like, yeah, we are nasty on top right now, which is great. And then for those of you who don't know out there, the college scoring has now become the high school scoring, where when you come to a wrestling meet, if a takedown happens, you don't go 2, you go 3. It's a 3-point takedown for every takedown. It's still a 1-point escape, still a 2-point reversal, but then the near fall is based on the swipes. So it's actually kind of an easy system where it's 2 swipes for 2, 3 swipes for 3, and 4 swipes for 4 near fall. So if you go feet to back and hold them for 4 count,
it's 8-0.
7
or 7-0.
7-0, just like that. And man, for a takedown heavy team like us who happens to be good on top, it's conducive.
Yeah.
We racked up quite a few tech falls that day. So yeah, I do want to shout out because we took care of business against Farmington, but for our freshman Colton Glendy to go against returning state champ Davis Perro, number 1 ranked, and scramble with them nearly the entire first period. Like Perro got a takedown at the very end of the first period against
Colton,
our freshman.
okay.
Yeah, was so cool. So cool. Like it was Glendy had a tough draw. He went 0-3 on the day, but everyone was extremely tough, and he made it close in every single match. So
that's good. I mean,
he did the team point thing, and he's a warrior, and he's a good student of the game too. So he really likes picking your brain about, hey, I'm having trouble with this. He's never afraid. We say shine a light on your weaknesses, and man, he's really great about that. He's very self-aware, and really good about that. And then second round, we advanced. After that, we go against Simley, number 2 ranked, returning state champs, albeit they graduated or weird, your Oklahoma State champ went back down to Oklahoma. So they're not quite as tough as they were last year. And we took them to the wire. We lost 24-30, and that's with 2 extremely tight matches. Glendy had a 1-point match, and Trey Hyatt lost in overtime against a ranked Aiden Mincy. And either one of those goes our way, and we beat number 2 ranked Simley. So proud of the team there. Started off with Miles working against a ranked younger Mincy, and really made him earn everything. Second round, Caden Lindquist, who's number 2 ranked for us at 107. Right now he's up at 114. He rolled against Jacob Kranz, who was ranked number 4 at 114, to the point of, I was like, let's go takedowns, buddy. And he was just destroying them. So that was impressive to see, and good to have him have a hard start there. But like, I got to tell you, Gabe Robb going 2-1 on the day. Had a really great match with Simley, and I believe he got the major in the very last seconds, and then against Anoka saved us from a major.
Okay.
Like, just
doesn't quit.
Warrior. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was great to see. Lane Karsten went 3-0 on the day. He looked, he was taking care of business. Didn't feel his best, but at the same time took care of business that day, which was great to see. The other kind of standouts, Fitcher went undefeated. He's ranked at heavyweight, but he's wrestling 215 right now because that's just kind of what he naturally weighs, and depending on. He handled business. And then Carter Flatland and Riley Krieger back-to-back, just like last year, but flipped in order. Both look so extremely tough. Their dedication to the weight room, they're both just absolutely jacked. And Krieger nearly went 3-0 on the day, looked extremely sharp, had a big pin against Simley, which kind of turned it around. Carter Flatland, in his Simley match, we realized, okay, no one's ever heard of the kid that he's going against. Clearly really good. Has a Russian last name. Did not speak English, and that was evident. So we get to the table after, and I'm talking with one of their assistants. I go, be honest. Is he like a Ukrainian refugee? Like, where'd you get this guy? And he goes, he was on the Czech Republic World Greco team. Of course, Simley.
So how did
How
did he end up in Simley?
Probably at some sort of world team, and one of their wrestlers was there, and suddenly, I don't even know if his parents moved with him. He's just here.
Foreign exchange student? Maybe.
I don't know. But yeah, he, let's just say, totally Greco.
Yeah.
He did a standing quarter Nelson from feet to back. Quarter Nelson from the standing position.
Okay.
And as he was doing it, I go, oh my God, I saw a Russian do that last summer. There we go.
Yep.
He's a Greco Czech Republic world team member or whatever. So, yeah, that's how that went. But yeah, narrowly lost to Simley. And then we had ranked Anoka, which it didn't go our way. We lost 21-41. But honestly, we fought really hard, and we just got a little sloppy. We had 3 matches where we were winning, won by a lot, and then we got caught and pinned. So we got sloppy there, and honestly, matches like that can be the difference. We talked a lot about team points today, and honestly, that's kind of just been our Achilles heel. Like, effort has never been a problem. Our endurance has never been a problem. It's just Northfield and Albert Lee so good at conserving team points and like caring about those things, even on their wins too. Like, we gotta, with this new scoring system, we gotta push for majors if it's a decision. We gotta push for techs if it's a major.
Yep.
We just gotta keep going and rack it up because, it was just kind of, it's not like we wrestled poorly. We just wrestled a smidge sloppy here and there.
Well,
So
it was the first time, get the jitters out.
yeah. And then on top of that, I was bragging. I was totaling up our team points between all 3 of our JV rounds, and I think I said it was like 135 to 26 or something like that.
Yeah.
Our JV ripped people apart, so that's good to see too. I mean, we love developing these kids and getting them ready. All the girls looked incredibly sharp. It was cool to see. Someone like Ella Montaigne looks like she's been wrestling for like 10 years right now.
Yeah.
Took a high crotch on a girl who was 20 pounds heavier than her, turned the corner amazingly. You have Lucinda ripping off like amazing takedowns. Pastica dominated. Harmony had a crazy good go behind, slapped on a far side cradle, got her points. The next period, both up. Girl locks up with her. Harmony tossed her in a headlock.
Really?
Stuck her. I was like, I had never watched Harmony wrestle before. I was like, oh my God. Yeah. Michaela Salee was up in both matches and then got caught. And that was just some instincts things that are still going on. But we, just look sharp.
Okay.
And that's always my concern. We traditionally, and I'll put it on myself, I don't know, for whatever reason, we don't seem to be prepared every season for that very first Saturday. This one we were.
Okay,
we
good.
were. Whatever worked, it worked. So we were prepped and ready. How about, and I'll just do a quick thing about our this week. So everybody head to Northfield on Thursday night. It's a try. It's not just a duel. I have a feeling, though, they'll work it out to where all of a sudden they'll put us under the lamp and have us last. So it'll be Northfield Century first round, then it'll be Owatonna Century, and then final round will be Owatonna Northfield, probably like a 7:30 start when it comes to tries, maybe 8 o'clock. So that'll be a big one right off the bat. We kind of flipped how our conference schedule goes. That's on Thursday. We'll be sending out on all of our social media. It's free to stream. We just got that link today. So we'll make sure everybody has that if they can't make it, but let's pack that gym. This should be a good year for this matchup. And then Saturday, so the boys, varsity JV, are heading to Prior Lake for another tough dual tournament. We got Waconia, who's highly ranked. Then we have Scott West, who's highly ranked in 2A. And then
Are they never not ranked?
I know.
They've been ranked since That's almost 30 years ago.
They are just solid
They,
every
they,
year.
yeah,
Yeah.
what are they doing down there? I
I
mean,
don't know, that
they
Jordan
just,
area.
yeah, just produces.
Yeah. So we should
Okay,
have
go
them
on. Sorry.
no, you're fine. And they just took it to New Prague last week, it sounds like. And then final round, we'll have Prior Lake, the host, who beat us last year. We didn't have our full lineup, but still, they wrestled better than us for most of that anyway. So we need to get a little revenge on them. Um, and then girls varsity, they're heading to the Athena tournament at Hopkins, which will be a good test. It'll be, um, a good earlier season measuring stick for them for section implications, everything like that. I think there's a lot of teams at that, so
Okay,
it'll be
good.
exciting for us there. How about middle school? How'd we do?
Well, middle school, we started off last Tuesday at Mankato with Mankato East, Mankato West, and Austin. We went 32 and 22. How junior high works, it's just we have 4 mats going and everybody wrestles. We don't keep team score, but that's just kind of what we have unless we have a duel with somebody. Then we'll keep a team score. But
Sure.
we had that last Tuesday, and then on Saturday we were at the New Prague tournament. They had varsity going there, they had the JV going, and then junior high, each of their own little matches. So I have to give this to our junior high group right now, our middle school group. The new kids, I can honestly say they are learning. There's a lot to wrestling that needs to learn, but they have no bad habits. So
That's awesome.
what we show them is what they know. So
That's cool.
If they're doing something wrong this early, I guess it's on us coaches,
Right? Yeah.
because they don't know it. And Anaya Smith and Cassie, the 2 girls we have out, Anaya Smith and Cassie Wolfson. Anaya's 1-1. She has had to wrestle. She's wrestled a couple of Owatonna boys. So our way of keeping score or record of our wins losses, if they have to wrestle somebody from Owatonna, it's straight up exhibition. We do not keep
don't
that.
count that in the
We
record?
do not count that on the record for either one of them. So some of these guys, some of the wrestlers, records, they've wrestled 7 matches, but in these tournaments, an Owatonna kid got thrown in the bracket. Well, we don't keep that as on the record. So
Sure.
But them 2, Anaya is 1-1. She's one that is brand new, learning, has a very outstanding outside single, and
okay.
it is something to be reckoned with. Because she does it perfect because she doesn't know how to do anything halfway.
Oh, sure.
So, and then Cassie, she got to wrestle her first tournament this weekend. She wrestled with there were some girls there her weight. So she didn't fare well. She lost, but she actually got to feel what an actual competitive match with somebody her size is like. Right. So I'm proud that she was happy with. She's still smiling today in practice, so that's good.
Yeah.
Caleb Fountain, new wrestler. He is 3-1, and he's like a little sponge. He has questions. He asks if he did things right, if he's doing things right. How else should he be doing this? It's like, what you're doing is fine. Let's just keep practicing it that way. We'll get more technical as we go. Colton Lindquist is holding the 5-0 record right now. He's got the most wins on the team at 5-0, so I had to pull that one out.
Sure.
He's looking very sharp. And then Mason Sorensen is sitting right behind him at 4-0. So
nice.
And that's not including their matches against other Owatonna kids. Right. So there is matches out there. But so far I think we're doing pretty good down there. Kids, I know they're asking for more. Some are asking for more knowledge, but we have to, we got to get the basics correct before we start going on and forward. This week we are, varsity's on Thursday night, so why not have a junior high match in Prior Lake on Thursday night?
Right.
So we're at Prior Lake. If you guys, want to take a swing up to Prior Lake and then hook back down.
There you go.
We'll be at Prior Lake on Thursday, and then we go to our big Cheesehead tournament in Ellsworth on Saturday. It's a pretty fun tournament. It is an actual dual style tournament. So we have weights and we sit face to face with another team. It's the first tournament like this that we typically do at the junior high. Normally it's a free for all, everybody just gets called to mats. But this one's a dual style tournament, and everybody gets matches because we'll run exhibitions
Right.
at the end of the matches. And some kids, they do put together, if there's enough of them, we put together like a Sunkiss team.
Yeah.
So some of the extras from other teams get put on a team, and they get to go and wrestle everybody anyways on just a random team.
Like a team of alternates. Yep. No, that's great.
And I do remember 2 years ago that alternate team was actually they were on the winning side of the bracket.
Oh wow!
So it was a bunch of alternates that actually took out a bunch of everybody's the first team starters.
Sure.
And they didn't do too shabby. We're in Ellsworth, Wisconsin on Saturday.
Nice.
But other than that, that's what the middle schools go in. We got the Dick Black Invitational. Or no, the Stockwell Invitational coming up next Saturday.
Yeah. We're only a week away from well, let's say three straight days of Owatonna wrestling we're hosting at the high school.
And then Sunday's the USA Folk Style Qualifier for the USA Folk Style for the youth. That's on Sunday.
Friday's the Owatonna Girls Classic tournament.
The high school girls classics on Friday. Yep. So mats get rolled down Friday night and stay down till Sunday night.
Yep. That's slick for the setup stuff. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of, to all the wrestling parents out there, K through 12, just letting you know, odds are we still have dibs available for those sessions. We need all the help we can get because either way, we're going to be there the whole time. A lot of people from the OWA board are there the whole time volunteering just because we want to show out. We want to have a great representation of what this town does and how seriously we take wrestling. And we say it all the time, we are the authority. Well, this is kind of one of the examples to prove that. So
but I mean, running 3 days of wrestling, it takes a lot of help. I mean,
Absolutely.
we can't do it. Us board members, us coaches can't do it all. So I'm going to throw a little plug out to the middle school parents. I did send an email out. We do have a coach's room.
It's actually this room. Honestly.
Is this going to be our coach's room?
Yeah, this is the coach's room. Yeah.
I sent out a little email about preparing some food. Yes, preparing food doesn't count to your dibs, but it helps us coaches have a little quiet time.
Yeah.
When there's over 300 little junior high wrestlers running around.
Yeah.
So middle school parents, please look at your emails.
Yeah, that's pretty crucial because you're right. I mean, those are long days.
Yep.
It's long days for everyone. Don't get me wrong with parents and everything. But I think when it comes to individual tournaments, what you may not understand is some of these individual tournaments, I basically don't go to the bathroom for 8 hours. Like there's that little time because it's so good now with these computerized systems to where it just keeps churning out matches.
It's efficient.
Yeah, it's efficient, but you're running from one mat to the other, and suddenly you got to run up here to grab
a
something
bite
to eat, and then go.
Grab a bottle of water. That's what we do in the coaches' room. Coaches and officials, when they get a break, they come on up. So, but we got them 3 tournaments going in upcoming week. We'll talk more about it next week. But
20th through 22nd. So, that's the big stuff. I know we also had our first Rumble. Friday Night Rumble a few weeks ago for our OWA youth. We have another one, which is actually this Friday, now that I think about it. And I believe we are in Farmington for that. So a cool thing youth director, Coach Zach Spindler is doing, and we've done it in a while back, like 10 years ago, where starting to partner with other towns that also have a serious contingent of youth wrestlers and just getting them together. Let's get good matches lined up, kind of like a middle school meet. And Coach Jacob Hovden up there does a great job of that.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, no, he his numbers are great, and just getting him used to. Maybe some of the kids are a little gun shy about going to tournaments, and then either way, everybody's getting good matches, and so it's going to be a pretty cool experience for us to bus.
Yes,
kids
our
up.
youth gets to get on a bus like the high school and take off up to Farmington.
They feel all cool and like a team, and that's awesome. And they get the more it's a really great atmosphere that's just centered around progression and maybe introducing, and even the advanced kids will get good matches.
Mm-hmm.
That's the cool part. Like they're able to accommodate all skill levels.
Yep.
So thank you to Coach Jake Hovden. And yeah, we appreciate other teams. If somehow this finds its way to other programs, please reach out to the Owatonna Wrestling Association. We're all about this. We also partner with TCU. Coach Eli Ross over there. A lot of ex-Owatonna going on. So, yeah, always looking to team up. Medford was at our trophy tournament last year, that very end of the year Friday Night Rumble. And it's just, there's clear data around the fact that it keeps kids out, keeps kids returning, doesn't scare them away. And numbers, man. That's how you gauge a program. 1A is how varsity does. 1B is how many kids you have out K through 12. Just that's all there is to it. You can ask Ben Askren went off on this not long ago about what youth duels have done to the sport a little bit as far as specializing a little too early. And it's I don't want to see the sport die for any reason, but also I want to bring this sport to other kids that maybe not serious in second, third grade, but you never know. Puberty hits. My own son, we tried a few times as a youth. He really hated it. I mean, like tears in his eyes when he would win. It's like it was that, because it can be kind of a personal thing for them, whatever. And then comes to me in sixth grade, and even then I was like, oh, okay. Hits the weights hard, and now really enjoys it. Looks forward to practice. You just never know who's going to pop when. Like the Matt Kretlow effect. The Eli Ross. Eli Ross didn't join until eighth grade. Like you just never know. So
I mean, I could go a list of all the wrestlers that didn't start until 7th, 8th grade, and did very, very well. Greg Karsten, another one.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Peyton Gleasing had wrestled a smidgen youth, gets cut from basketball freshman year, and now is probably going to get a healthy amount of varsity time at 189 this year.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that happens all the time.
Yep. So we really like those programs. So we don't have a guest today. We had some technical difficulties with I gotta find another piece of equipment here. Hopefully, I think it turned out well last week. I didn't listen back to it, but I'm just guessing that it did, because otherwise I would have taken a lot of crap from people out in the community. But yeah, so we appreciate what Scott Summer with Summer Media Solutions does. We appreciate everyone who supports Owatonna wrestling in this community. We're looking to pack the gym for every home meet, but honestly, too, let's travel well. Let's Northfield on Thursday. We have some. I'll point out middle school. We're trying to help a community like Rochester. Rochester, if you don't know, is in disarray in terms of middle school sports. So really, it's bolstered by the high school related booster clubs, and we want them to be included. And so for our varsity match, where we're going over to Rochester Mayo, and Winona's there, but it's Mayo, we're bringing over our middle school on a separate bus, and we're going to wrestle that kind of simultaneously. We'll start a little early, but it'll happen at the same time, basically, because we want them to be successful too. Our goal, I don't know if you know this, Section 1 is extremely good at wrestling. There's T-shirts every year at sections that say Section 1 versus the world.
Yep.
Produce a lot of D1 athletes.
Toughest section in the state.
Yeah. Except for AAA. We're pretty good. We have 3 ranked teams right now in the top 12, us, Northfield, and Albert Lee. But we're not top to bottom as strong as like A and AA. So what we're trying to do with like the Rochester programs in general is help their programs develop too, because I want to win it every year, but I'm not going to be cutthroat. I want us to have a really tough section, because this year, I mean, the number 1 team in A is Chatfield, Section 1, returning state champs. Number 1 team in AA is Cass and Manorville, Section 1. And in both of those, I believe I think in AA there's 4 ranked teams from Section 1.
Yeah.
So we want to get to that point. We also want to be dominant. We want to represent this well. And so we're trying our best to kind of shake things up for communities like that, because a town of 125,000 should have really good
They should
wrestling.
have, yes, they should at least have 2 schools out of the 3.
Right. And I mean, heck, I'm sure Casson has benefited from it. I'm sure
Yes.
Dover Yota's benefited
Yes,
from it.
there's been some that have benefited.
Stewartville.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stewartville.
So it's, but nonetheless, there's enough to go around, and we just want everybody to be successful, and that's the goal. So I'm proud of what we're doing at all levels to try to work together and kind of bring the rest of the section
Yeah.
with us, because it's
And I think it also helps when the junior high or middle school gets to actually wrestle right next to or underneath the varsity. They actually get to see what's going on. What am I going to?
Sure.
I mean, there's like new 8th graders that probably won't come up to a varsity match or travel to a varsity match. They'll actually get to see it because they have to, because they're wrestling at it. So, which I think is a great thing.
Yeah, it should be the goal. It should
Yeah.
be the reason. Dan Gable talked about that way back when, where he's like, the best thing you can do for wrestling training is to watch wrestling. And what do you learn? But also, it's an inspirational thing. It's going to help you train harder or stay dedicated in the months where you may not have been.
Yeah, during the grind months.
Yeah, which is
Or the
constant.
slow months, and then there's the
Right.
grind months. Yeah, which
Yeah.
ones are going to stay on top of?
Exactly. Well, and speaking of the grind months, one final point is I just want to thank the Owatonna high school strength and conditioning staff, Coach Egermont, Coach Ginther, Coach Watala. All of these guys have helped so much, because we finally have raised our strength level as a team to match the other teams. That's been our Achilles heel for a little bit. And it is so cool to see. You can tell who's lifted. Like an undersized Gabe Robb, single leg lift finish, like almost went 5-point with a kid. And it's like, wow, 2 years ago that doesn't happen.
Nope.
It's so these kids have taken the initiative. Don't get me wrong, and the parents have been great about
Getting
that.
them there.
But setting the table and dedicating a ton of time and raising the standards. There's a reason Owatonna's great at every sport right now, and it has a lot to do. How does our football team do as well as it did, and we don't have a single 300-pound kid on the team? Well, you got to make up for it somewhere, and that's been strength.
Yep.
And so I just love how his thing he always says is, I want to create freak athletes. And yeah, that goes a long way. So it makes up for a lot, and we appreciate that. So thank you, Coach Egermont there. Do you have anything
Just
you wanna add here?
nope. Just that this week we're at Prior Lake and then at Ellsworth, and I know them are kind of drives, but if you're out and about, swing on in, cheer on the middle school kids.
Get some cheese curds.
Yeah, we all get our cheese curds. At
Yeah,
the-
it is a
that's-
reward.
It
at
is
that
a reward.
tournament.
We get a case of them for the ride home. So
That's cool. Nice. Awesome. Well, thank you. Week 2 of the Owatonna Wrestling Weekly podcast. Thank you to Scott Summer of Summer's Media Solutions. And don't hesitate to reach out. If you'd like to sponsor the Owatonna wrestling community and you are an entrepreneur, we'd love to have you. And we will talk to you next week.
see ya.